how he wanted to once dominate his wife. When his father was on his deathbed, Gandhi, in a moment of sexual mindlessness, rather chose to go to his wife. He was on the verge of converting to Christianity. Even Nehru did not agree wholeheartedly with Gandhi. Ambedkar had with Gandhi, not even Patel. And we know of the tiff he had with Bose. Nobody could agree 100% with him. What to say of Jinnah or Churchill? Nobody really is interested in abusing Gandhi. In fact, those who are abusing Gandhi are the least interested in Gandhi. Gandhi stands as a symbol of something that they are hell-bent on destroying. Therefore, Gandhi has to be abused. Otherwise, these people have nothing to do with Gandhi. I'm no big Gandhi fan.
His question is concerning Gandhi Jayanti. He's saying that, Acharya Ji, every year in the rest of the world, Gandhi Ji is remembered as a great person on his birthday. But if we look at our own country and we find a social media post regarding him, then people of our own country are abusing him. I agree that no person can be completely right, but how it is right to prove someone completely wrong, to abuse him instead of learning so much that could have been learned from him? There have only been a very few people in the country who are appreciated worldwide, but they are always insulted in our own country. And I find the same thing happening with you too. Acharya, please tell me why all of this is happening and what we can do about it.
No, nobody really is interested in abusing Gandhi. In fact, those who are abusing Gandhi are the least interested in Gandhi. They don't know anything about Gandhi. They have never been bothered about Gandhi. They are still not interested in Gandhi. But they are abusing Gandhi. There is a reason. They are trying to accomplish something. And Gandhi stands in the way. Therefore, Gandhi has to be abused. Gandhi stands as a symbol of something that they are hell-bent on destroying. Therefore, Gandhi has to be abused. Otherwise, these people have nothing to do with Gandhi. Are you getting it? If you want to create a society that is highly illiberal, then the symbol of liberalism has to be abused and brought down. If you want to create a society that is deeply fractured on communal lines, then the symbol of communal harmony has to be disparaged. That's what is happening. Otherwise, have they read Gandhi? Who is Gandhi? Gandhi is not some person really. Gandhi is a particular thought. Even if you want to criticize him, you have to first read him. He's a philosopher. He was not just randomly walking naked on roads. There was a philosophy behind his actions. Have you read the philosophy? No, we don't know. But he has to be abused. He has to be abused because today you are trying to achieve something that cannot be achieved without killing Gandhi again. Gandhi was killed once and that didn't suffice. Physically killing him was very insufficient. So now they are trying to kill him in many other ways. The problem with that is that certain things cannot be killed. So, same thing is with me. As the questioner said, nobody is interested in me. Day by day, the army, I don't want to glorify them by calling them an army. Army is a very, very disciplined institution. And you require a certain qualification to be called an army man. But for want of a, let me call them some, crowd? Hmm?
Dacoits.
Huh?
A troop of dacoits, maybe.
Yeah, the mob,
Mhm.
unruly mob, or maybe there is a better word, I don't know. Righteous mob. How is that? Righteous and riotous, right? Riotous, righteously riotous. So that number is increasing every passing day. And they abuse me no end. In fact, it's very interesting. One of their favorite abuses is he is emerging as another Gandhi. He is Gandhi number two. That's their abuse. They don't even realize what a huge compliment that is. Hmm? They throw that at me as their favorite abuse. See, another Gandhi is emerging. What they mean by that is that another one needs to be killed now. But I have no issues being abused, right? That's okay. But do you know me? Have you read me? Do you understand me? What are you throwing these invectives at? You don't even know your target. The huge empty darkness within you is shooting in dark without even knowing who the target is. Worse still, without even knowing who the shooter is. Just that you want ignorance to rule. And therefore, anybody who symbolizes illumination becomes an enemy to you. The fellow does not even know that he has become an enemy. I don't even know how I gathered so many enemies. I have no idea at all. But every passing hour, this mob is swelling. And I have no idea why they are ganging up against me. What are you angry against? It is complicated and yet it's very straightforward. I stand for something that they want to destroy. Hmm? And therefore, every single person who stands for those things has to be reviled, disparaged, assassinated in as many ways as possible. When you cannot fight the force of truth or even the might of ideas, then you become slanderous in a personal way. You don't realize that when you call someone the new Gandhi, that's a compliment. The 2nd of October is upon us, and you will witness a massive orgy. And the environment in India will be totally at odds with the environment, the rest of the world. The world will celebrate Gandhi, and India will spit at Gandhi. It was Einstein who said that the coming generations will have a hard time even believing that somebody like this walked upon this earth. Oh, he was prescient. See how quickly his words have become facts. I'm no big Gandhi fan. right? Gandhi spoke on the Gita, and I find innumerable holes in his interpretation. I went to his ashram hmm, at Kausani long back, Anasakti ashram.
जी.
And some of the stuff that I found there, either written or etched on the walls, that left a lot to be desired. The interpretations, the message was not quite accurate. But what I can definitely say is that the intention isn't malicious. Here you had a person who, in spite of all his weaknesses, was trying to do the best he could. Hmm? I don't want to turn him into a larger than life thing or venerate him as some kind of god. But the fellow deserves some respect for what he was. And to deny him that respect is to deny humanness itself. Think of any weakness, any vice, and Gandhi displayed it at some point in his life. And credit is due to him to openly accept everything. He couldn't speak. He was so frail, introverted, timid. That was one of the reasons why he didn't want to appear before a court, a judge, because that would have required him to open up and speak. And so many other things. You look at his personality and you find the very normal and usual kind of weaknesses alongside great flights of greatness. Today he is being one of the accounts on which he is being slandered is his sexual life. Huh? People take perverse pleasure in roaming in peeping into others' bedrooms, rather into others' undergarments directly. Hmm? But Gandhi himself is quite forthright about it. How he wanted to once dominate his wife, how when his father was on his deathbed, Gandhi, in a moment of sexual mindlessness, rather chose to go to his wife. And in that moment, he lost his father. And that remained with him. He was not hiding those things. A point came when he said, "The Gita is my mother." And there was a point when he was on the verge of converting to Christianity. And he doesn't hide that. Several of his views seem a bit regressive today. And I would be the first person to admit that. And we don't want to accept those views. We don't want to raise a new India based on any kinds of views that are outdated today. But not everything is outdated. There are certain things that last, that are timeless actually. That discretion has to be there. What is respectable remains respectable. What is agreeable remains agreeable. And what is time bound becomes outdated. There is no obligation to keep honoring that. If we are to list the number of times Gandhi expressed views that have no relevance today and probably had no utility even when they were expressed, the list will be very long. From memory, I can quote at least 50 instances where one would not want to agree with Gandhi. And that is all right. That does not mean that you have to assassinate him once again. That does not mean that you have to doubt the man's integrity. Even Nehru did not agree wholeheartedly with Gandhi. We know of the equation Ambedkar had with Gandhi. Even at that time, nobody could agree 100% with him. Not even Patel. And we know of the tiff he had with Bose. Nehru, Patel, Ambedkar, Bose. Nobody was saying, well, we have a God here. No. What to say of Jinnah or Churchill? So we have a man in flesh and blood with all his weaknesses, with all the human frailties. Respect him for the courage that he showed. Respect him for the transformation that he underwent. Look at his power, the naked fakir. And he would say, I'm not eating anything, Anshan. An entire India would rise with him. His power to mobilize the masses, unprecedented, charismatic. There was surely something India saw in that man, right? Or were our parents and grandparents utter fools? They were the ones who were idolizing Gandhi, right? Were they totally deluded? No, they were not. They were seeing something special in that man. There might also be some truth in the allegation that because of Gandhi, the role of several other freedom fighters has not been fully pronounced. Gandhi has been such a huge tree that a lot has become invisible in his shadow. That's right. So let's bring out the real life stories of those we have not honored enough. Let's felicitate them. But for that, you don't need to revile Gandhi. It's simply indecent. Forget about ethics. It's aesthetically so unpleasant. The man is not there. And now you are shooting allegations at him. Will he come to defend himself? He tried meat eating. He either went to prostitutes once or was on the verge of going there. He tried some alternative school of medicine as well, similar to naturopathy, which was quite unscientific. Obviously, one cannot agree with everything that Gandhi said or did. And he was keeping that goat. I think it was Sarojini Naidu who said, it takes a lot to keep Gandhi poor. It takes a lot of money to keep Gandhi poor because he was carrying that goat wherever he went. He said, goat milk is better than cow milk. Even from the point of view of animal rights, one won't agree with Gandhi here. And one doesn't need to. But why kill the man again and again? One can question whether it was right to participate in Khilafat. Yes, definitely. Because it was a totally religious matter and a totally foreign affair. Something was happening in Turkey. Why are you aligning Indian Muslims with that, and along with that Indian Hindus as well? One can question that, definitely. One can question the withdrawal of the non-cooperation movement. There are so many other things. One can question whether Pattabhi Sita Ramaiya had to be favored at the cost of Bose. So many other things you can continuously question. And like any other curious student, I too have been continuously questioning Gandhi. I'm no big fan. But all this that is going on is simply ugly. Very ugly. You are blaming him for India's partition. How is he to be blamed? What more could he have done to avert partition? If there was one man who said India will not be partitioned, it was Gandhi. But when the fires of communalism have been stoked to that extent that you have de facto genocides going on in cities, villages, many provinces, what do you do? So many lakhs have already been killed. How many more are to be killed? If partition were to be averted, that right actions should have been taken in the decades prior to partition. Once the two communities have been deeply steeped in hatred against each other, partition became inevitable. Two people are refusing to stay with each other. How can you now avoid partition? Because it's not in your hands. Two people don't want to stay with each other. How can you force them to stay with each other? And if you do want them to stay with each other, then you should have taken the right action several years and decades earlier. 46 or 47, the equation had already been sealed. And even if we are to say that had Gandhi acted differently, partition could have been avoided, that could probably be an error in judgment. Huh? So we can criticize him for that. Everybody is susceptible to criticism. So is Gandhi. Gandhi should be criticized. But criticism is one thing, and vituperative slander is totally different. Being a student of both technology and economics, I very well know that Gandhi's view on the self self-contained village economy are not practical. I also know that India's textile sector could have done better had it not been for Gandhi's emphasis on the handloom. I know of all these things, and it is fair to offer a trenchant criticism of Gandhi on these counts. But let criticism be criticism. I think there were occasions when he also acted quite unreasonably. He offered a very superstitious account of the which particular earthquake was that? I don't
It was
remember.
floods in Bihar, probably,
Huh?
which said floods in Bihar,
Huh.
and the famine in Bengal, for which he said that
It's God's punishment.
God's punishment for what they were doing.
It's God's punishment. So when there were floods and famines, there was also an earthquake.
Yes, probably something happened in Bihar.
Something. So there was some natural calamity, and Gandhi said, "This is God's punishment for something that you have done." No, that's just so irrational and superstitious. And I would be the first one to strongly criticize this kind of thing from a leader. But come on, the man was much more than these statements. And if you don't see that, go and ask Churchill. He will tell you who Gandhi was. If you don't see this, go and ask Jinnah. He will tell you who Gandhi was. Or Mountbatten. Ask them. People pit Patel against Gandhi these days and both against Gandhi these days. Do we know the kind of deep respect both Bose and Patel had for Gandhi? Who called Gandhi Mahatma for the first time? Who was he? And Tagore, think of his differences with Gandhi. He said, freedom attained by spinning the charkha is not worth it. And he didn't like the kind of nationalism Gandhi was promoting. He said this nationalism is the very mother of all kinds of mischief. But still, Tagore had such a healthy respect for Gandhi. You know, in the spiritual domain, Ramana Maharshi, he used to say there are a lot of people that I send to Gandhi's ashram, and there are a lot of people Gandhi sends to me from his ashram. And we are talking of the stalwart, the topmost spiritual figure of the first half of the last century, Ramana Maharshi. And Ramana Maharshi is displaying from his top spiritual position such respect for Gandhi.
Sir, I was just adding to it that it was Rabindranath Tagore himself who criticized Mahatma Gandhi for his views on that flood that was in Bihar and Bengal. And it was him who called him the Mahatma. And then Subhash Chandra Bose ji called him the father of the nation.
The father of the nation. Yes, yes. Rashtrapita, that came from Bose. Mahatma, that came from Tagore. So you see, the healthy exchange, not the kind of sloganeering and absolutely indecent environment that we are a part of today. It is so strange, you see. The fellow who brought religion to the political discourse in the biggest way possible. Huh? He is being accosted by the forces of so-called religion. He gave up his Western formals and he said, I am now becoming a monk, de facto monk, right? Everything that he did or said was inspired by religion. Religion as he understood it. We can argue over whether his religiosity was truly spiritual and authentic. That can be debated. That's all right. But he was very clear that public life must be inspired by religion. Even the last two words attributed to him are Hey Ram. So if we really are a religious people, then Gandhi did what we ask for. He said no politics without religion. He said the ideals of religion will guide politics. So that way you should embrace Gandhi. And it is so strange that instead of embracing him, the ones who call them religious are shooting him down. You see, we want a militant, masculine type of alpha religion. Right? We want a Hinduism inspired by Andrew Tate. Now, Gandhi, look at the meek figure. He is. It hurts our aspiring masculinity. Yeah, Rashtrapita can't even stand properly. And doesn't look impressive or smart or handsome or sexy. In fact, borderline ugly. Look at his ears, monkish. And he doesn't hit anyone with this lat that he carries. His greatest weapon is Satyagrah, Anshan, Amaran Anshan, fasting till death. We don't like that. We want to be more testosterone driven. We don't realize that courage is not about your balls or your body. Courage is something far deeper. And it's not just about Gandhi. It's been the very Indian message through the millennia. The entire line of seers and sages and saints and knowers who have said that it takes tremendous courage to first of all fight against yourself. Gandhi's message is so close to that of the Jains. And you know what Jin means? The winner. Why is he a winner? Because he has conquered himself. There is the Jain Ramayana, in which Ram becomes so liberated that he doesn't even kill Ravan. Lakshman kills Ravan. Ram becomes a Jain. He says, all this killing, etc. is for Ram, just becomes liberated. It's not as if it's just Gandhi who is coming and saying that the greatest courage lies in, first of all, conquering yourself. That has been the message through the centuries. Now, how many of them will you kill? If Gandhi is to be killed for saying that, first of all, you need to fight yourself, then you will need to kill so many others as well. Because the entire tradition of Indian seers and sages has been saying exactly the same thing. Go kill all of them. Bring down their statues. Erase their memories. Despise them. Turn them into villains in your history books. The entire line. Starting right from Gautam Buddha. Is ahimsa a Gandhian innovation or invention? Ahimsa is coming from there. Before Gandhi, go shoot Gautam. How do you become a coward if you, first of all, decide to fight your own inner vices? How is that cowardice? Kindly illuminate me. Because that's the charge being leveled. Gandhi turned all of us into cowards. How is it cowardice to face your own reality? How do you become brave if you are shying away from your inner fact? If you say, I'll not look at how I am, I just want to fight the external enemy. And how do you know? How do you even know who the external enemy is if you do not know who you are? We talk of Shatru Bodh so much these days. That's fine. But to have an enemy, first of all, you must know who you are. If instead of knowing myself as a man, I think I'm a mouse, then all the cats are my enemies. Even to know who is my enemy, first of all, I must know who I am. And that is the process of self-knowledge. First of all, looking at your own reality. If I'm a mouse, then I'll keep chasing cats to kill them. These are my historical enemies. Shatru Bodh. But you are not mouse at all. So why are you fighting the cat then? And that's the accusation against Gandhi. He made Indians into cowards. If that is the accusation, that accusation should not be reserved for Gandhi alone. Level that against, I'm saying, all your rishis, sages, seers, saints, everybody, the entire line, the whole tradition, all the branches of the spiritual tree. Accuse them. Because all spirituality is fundamentally about looking at yourself first and then fighting the external battle. Nobody is asking you to not to fight external battles. You are being told, first of all, fight the inner battle. And only that will give you the clarity and the power to fight the right external battles. Look at the battlefield of Kurukshetra, for example. Krishna is not supplying Arjun with weapons. He is supplying Arjun with self-knowledge. And Arjun wins. Even to win the external battle, first of all, you have to win the internal battle. Gita is about Krishna helping Arjun to win the internal battle. Not without reason, Gandhi used to say the Gita is like my mother. Though I'll have my reservations on whether Gandhi really interpreted Gita accurately. Today, if he could come, I would contest him. I would say, no, sir, your interpretation of Gita is way off the mark in many ways. But that's all right. The answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. There is a beautiful line there. How many times? How many times? Come on, come on, come on. No Dalin fans here. Now they'll accuse me of singing so badly. That's what I'm going to do next. Bring me the lyrics. You see, look at these, huh? And see how relevant they are to today's discussion. How many roads must a man walk down? How many roads must a man walk down before you call him a man? How many times do you want to test a man? Without testing yourself even once. You keep testing the other man without having tested yourself even once. Right? How many roads must a man walk down before you call him a man? How many seas must a white dove sail before she sleeps in the sand? And how many times must the answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind? The answer is blowing in the wind. It's so beautiful. Yes, and how many years must a mountain exist before it is washed to the sea? You understand the mountain? In context to our discussion, the mountain of ignorance. Yes, and how many years must a mountain exist before it is washed to the sea? And how many years can some people exist before they are allowed to be free? The thing is, it's not the British now who are not allowing you to be free. It's your own internal ignorance and bigotry and prejudices that are not allowing you to be free. Yes, and how many times can a man turn his head and pretend that he just doesn't see? How long will you keep pretending that you don't see the obvious? How long will you ignore the very direct fact? The answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. The answer is blowing in the wind. Yes, and how many times must a man look up before he can see the sky? The answer is bring down the sky. Just bring down all the towering statues, right? If I can't look up, why should I allow them to stand up? Bring them down, raise them to the ground. And how many ears must one man have before he can hear people cry? Yes, and how many deaths will it take till he knows that too many people have died? The answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. The answer is blowing in the wind.
So there's a small follow-up question that online participants are asking. They're asking that Acharya, we do not want you to be the second Gandhi. We do not want people to misunderstand you. So what is it that we can do in this?
See, I'll meet my fate. Huh? The beautiful thing. Amor fati. Love of fate. Comes from Nietzsche. One of his most intriguing, mystical utterances. He says, there is nothing I value higher than my fate. It resonates to me in some way with Sri Krishna when he says, Niyat karmam kuru. Niyati. And your niyati, that is inexorable. So I'll meet my fate, both in the inner and the external sense. You make use of me in whichever way possible. Use me. One doesn't know how long the whole thing will last. One also doesn't know what twists and turns are there in the tale to make hay while the sun shines.